first thing I did was become a part of the community. And I did it because people did it for me. So being nominated as one of the Beacons doesn't get any better than this because I didn't set out to do it. They're honoring me because I did it. My forte is youngsters. I grew up in Connecticut. My community was so similar to Third Ward. They put their pennies together to help me become somebody. And they asked me if I ever made it to reach back and bring somebody along for the ride. When I got into Houston, that's exactly what I did. I was over at the South Central YMCA for 9 years with my marching corps. Any and everything asked of me to do in the community with youngsters, I never ever said no because that's what I felt my job or my destiny was to be here in Houston. But there's nobody there to bring it out of these youngsters on a consistent basis. These youngsters are hungry for somebody to give them a shot. And this is what I feel is what I was put here to do, to give these youngsters a direction.
Well, I was excited about it, especially since it was from the Houston Sun. They have a reputation in the community of recognizing the good in the community. Well, I do it because I've always believed that we help one another, and that's how we will survive, and that's how we will progress. It's something that we've always had to do, even when there was no one else to help us. I grew up in a fine family, took me to church every Sunday, and really did have a strong parenthood that always made me to know that I could be anything I wanted to be.
It was kind of surprising because I know there are many others that deserve it more than I do. But just to be honored like that is certainly an honor, and I'm very appreciative of the Sun for doing that. I really believe that any church, any pastor in the community should be involved in things in the community that are very important. We've got a lot of issues going in our community, and certainly we have so many to deal with, a lot of challenges. And I don't believe that a church should sit in the community and not get involved in some of the issues because we're dealing with drugs, prostitution, all types of crime, and I just feel that I'm obligated. I have a duty toward doing things in the community. I don't get a dime for this. I don't ask anybody to give me anything. I think community service is just what that is. You're doing the community service. When people come to you, you give your best shot, no matter who comes to you.
I was humbled. I was honored to be thought of in that type of award and recognition, so it was really a humbling honor, and that's something that I hadn't anticipated. I do a lot of educational seminars on some crucial financial changes that are occurring in the economy that are going to have harsh impact on our communities. It's an extremely rewarding feeling when you sit down with someone and you help them develop a strategy that will allow them to have an opportunity to retire with dignity and retire in comfort. In a lot of cases, without some of the information that we bring to the attention of the people that we're dealing with, they wouldn't have that opportunity. So it's a very rewarding feeling to know that you're doing something that impacts families and their lives now and in the future.
I was very honored, and I appreciate Ms. Robinson for considering me for this award, but I was very honored. I had ran into some problems in my life about 20 years ago. And upon that time when I came home, I knew how valuable, that a man is in his community and in his household. Those kids have helped me more than I've helped them. Those kids helped change my life around because I realized if I have to ask them to do anything or any instructions that I give them, first it starts with me doing them myself. So I have to be responsible for the way that I handle my business on and off the field and in my household and everything else. So those kids have helped me more than I helped them.
When I first heard about the Men of Valor, I was very excited to be receiving that honor. And the charity that I work with, our organization, is called Save Kids USA. A lot of children die each year. Average of 38 children die from being left in a hot car. So very passionate about getting that word out, making sure that those kids are safe. And as you can see, a display here showing the interior and exterior temperature in the vehicle. And just hope and get that word out there. So thank you.
In fact, I was humbled because I know that there are so many great people in this city that deserve such a recognition. And so it's quite humbling to believe that I would be included on such an august list. It is an honor, and I pray that I'll have the opportunity to well serve this honor and give back to the community, which is so deserving. I'm called upon as a Christian minister and as a Christian to give back to the community. In terms of giving back, it's not simply service in positions, but service for people. I've had the pleasure and the honor of representing some very worthy clients who have been denied justice, and they've reached out to me and asked for my services. And in the courtroom, we've been able to be successful in achieving justice for them. Right now, as I look at the opportunities to serve this city as the next mayor of this city, I think about the overwhelming satisfaction it will give everyone that we all serve one another and work together for the betterment of the human experience. In fact, to work for others and go to bed at night makes you feel like God is satisfied with you and well pleased.
And I greatly appreciate the recognition. The recognition is owing to my role at the university and, of course, my past role in the city, but most importantly, the role of the university in helping it achieve its goal, and that is to really be a premier institution in the city of Houston. You know, we have different callings, and I've found that my calling is really to help people achieve their potential. And so I've been involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters. I've been involved with Goodwill Industries and a number of other organizations in the city. And the whole idea is to help people get to their potential. And that's essentially what my calling is.
Well, I was totally surprised. I'm assuming that based on our activities at the museum, that's why I was selected. You know, a historian once said, if a race has no history, if it has no worthwhile traditions, becomes a negligible factor in the thoughts of the world and stands in danger of being exterminated. So our mission at the museum is to preserve, promote, and perpetuate the honor and legacy of the brave men and women who fought, bled, and died in defense of America. Our community service revolves around working with the Positive Black Males. It's a teenage group of black boys in the North Forest area. We also have a summer camp that we run for students in the Third Ward area. So we feel like it's important that these students understand and appreciate the contributions that were made by these black soldiers.
Well, of course, I felt, not worthy enough, because I just felt like you're supposed to do certain things, and so I just couldn't see where I would match up to people who I figure that I look up to. But, God had a plan, and I'm trying to walk in his plan. I got into it really as I'm a product of Houston, Sunnyside area, and after I learned better and got my life straightened out, I just had a desire to give back and to serve my community. Man, it's overwhelming to think that God would use me to help others and bring others in, and not as far as only just to introduce them to God, but to see them. I've been doing this a long time, but to see them grow up and get to a point to where they're helping people. So.
Well, I think that's exciting. The Houston Sun is a historical newspaper in the community. Does a lot of great things in the community. So I was very, very excited when I received the word that I was receiving this honor. We do a lot of things with our students. We promote service learning activities, so I do a lot of different things with that organization. I'm also a member of the NAACP, so I do community things with them. I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, so that's an opportunity to do some things in the community. So we do a variety of things. Wherever I'm needed to do some things, that's what I do. Well, it's a big high, and of course in our field of education, we do a lot of things to help students. That's what we all about, and so I do that every day. Right now, we're close to the end of the school year, and we've got a lot of seniors that need assistance. We have a lot of students that come from challenging situations. So, you know, I'm always excited to do things to help those students be successful.
When I first found out, I was blown away. I was very, very surprised. It was a very pleasant surprise. It was a very humbling announcement when I read it. I was overcome with joy and very, very proud, very appreciative of the recognition. And one of the passions that I have is civic engagement, giving back to the community. It's something that was instilled in me a long time ago by my grandparents. My grandfather was a minister. He said, you always have to give back to the community that you came from. Make it better than it was when you got there. It's a burning desire. I know that I stand on the shoulders of those who came before me, people who sacrificed so that I have an opportunity. I didn't get here by myself. I didn't get here because I was the smartest person. You know, I grew up for a long time from a single parent. So I feel that I have a sense of obligation to give back, and I feel very good about it. It's part of my purpose in life.
I felt shocked, but knowing Dr. Ellis and Lionel, the work, I felt honored and humbled that they would pick me as for something that I've been working on. I don't know if I chose it or it chose me. Certainly, there are times that you want to get paid for what you do as a service, and certainly that I was able to find a way that on my contracts, I'm able to fund most of what we do for the community. Right now, most of our work is in the mitigation and working with vulnerable populations, which still includes youth and seniors, but there are a lot of rewards, just human contact and appreciation for when you help somebody when they really need it.
Well, I was watching emails and going through them very carefully and saw that I had been nominated. And first of all, I thought, is this spam? And then I saw Houston Sun, and I said, well, that's associated with Doris Ellis Robinson and my good friend Lionel Robinson, who is now deceased. So I said, this has legitimacy. I'm involved with the Yates Museum that's located in the 4th Ward. That museum is interested in promoting historic structures, that is, maintaining historic structures on the original homestead. The like of attention to preservation, and those are the kinds of things that give me a great deal of passion, that we should be concerned about fairness and justice, and particularly things that are related to history. When it comes to African American history, promoting it so that we can see what our ancestors have done in terms of giving us a path that we can be proud of.
I was shocked. Matter of fact, at the Unity Bank, where we had the reception, I was walking in just to support the Houston Sun and Doris. I was there as a supporter and then found out that I was the beacon, one of the beacons. I said, well, Lord, let my light shine. Let my light shine. It was a great honor. It's from the heart. It's from the heart. A lot of people say it's giving back, but I'm saying this, that it's just giving for me. When I see someone ill, I try to make them well. If I see someone hungry, I try to give them food. It's just the way I am, the way my makeup and DNA was from life, from birth to where I am now. They don't have to put my name on it. They don't have to give me praises, because I look for that praise one day when I get to heaven. But what I do is, the joy that I see is just know that I have accomplished something in this city that's positive. And it helps everyone in this city who I love. This is my home. This is where I was born. And you know, when you know that you have accomplished and you've helped someone you didn't know, and they walk up to you one day and they tell you, they say, listen, thank you so much for your service. I was in the Air Force. People walk with me still and say, thank you so much for your service. I'm also a minister. So people say, I remember that sermon that you preached the other day or about 2 years ago, and it was good. It's still on my mind. Those are the moments. Those are the moments.
I really feel honored to have been selected for an award of that nature. I've served as an associate juvenile court judge for Houston and Harris County. And I feel that this line of work, serving as a juvenile court judge and practicing juvenile law, I feel that I've been a help to the community to a certain extent because my plight in life, it's my philosophy about life is that if I've helped someone along the way, that my living will not have been in vain. I feel that I've made some type of achievement in life because a few of these children, you're able to turn around a few of these children. Many times when you meet the parents, you see what the problem is, but you can make a difference in some of these children's lives.
Actually, I was excited because this has become full circle for me. I actually started here as an intern about close to 25 years ago with the Houston Sun. I was a student at Jack Yates High School, applied to be a writer with the Houston Sun, and some of the gentlemen that have been nominated to receive the award also, I've been reading about them for the past like 25 years, so I kind of felt like a donkey at the Kentucky Derby trying to find my way through next to these thoroughbreds. Working in the Houston Independent School District, they didn't have a lot of money towards sending kids to fine arts summer camps. The average summer camp for a marching band student may cost between $400 to $500. And so instead of waiting on the powers that be to try to find out where they was going to get the money from, called up a couple of my colleagues, other band directors in the city that were suffering from the same problem. And we decided to take matters to our own hands by developing our own curriculum and selecting the location. And we've been doing this voluntarily for the past like 13 years for like the band camp. I feel good because I was one of those kids, graduated from Yates High School, didn't receive a whole lot of scholarship money. But the one scholarship I did that aided me in my matriculation to Prairie View A&M University was a music scholarship, and so it was a means to the end. But band is actually another means to the end to get to a major university, and so we have a 100% graduation rate with the people that stick with our program over the past like 4 years.
First off, it's an honor. It's an honor. Thankfulness. Pleased that I was able to be nominated and looked at for maybe some things that I've accomplished here in Houston, and for perhaps my character is such that it can be said to just look at this person. So I'm thankful and honored to be considered as one of the nominees. My working with the community, through the community, has been because of my basic love and desire to uplift us, our people. In so doing, it's brought me to the point where I understand that we all are part of this village. Community involvement is when we wake up in the morning and appreciate that we're alive and well. And I look around the people that's close to me. The community involvement begins right here in our hearts of loving each other, loving yourself, and then loving the people around you. That's community involvement. And then from that, putting our heads and hearts and minds together, we can begin to really get involved in community.
I mean, I was very humble in receiving a message that I was going to receive the award. Humble because I've never went out bragging about what I did or what I did do for folks.
Butler Senior appreciates being recognized. This is the 20 years as a publisher and 120 years we celebrate as America's third oldest black company in Texas, and I'm the only black daily newspaper publisher west of the Mississippi. So it's a great honor to be recognized.
When I was recruited out of high school by Coach Darrelly, I had 4 other young men that wanted to go to college. So I asked him, I said, Coach, I said, I got some friends, they want to go. He said, well, bring them on. One was named James Humphrey, James Lewis, Cersei Thomas, and William Jackson. And he said, bring them. They got a scholarship on my wood. And if I could help someone, and all of them succeeded. All of them went on. James Umpton went on, succeeded. James Lewis succeeded. All of them succeeded in HISD.
Well, as a publisher, you don't know until somebody asks. And we've gotten many calls over the years asking for people for help, monetary-wise, or because someone's in trouble. And with my father have been in law enforcement, until I call a judge or call a district attorney and ask, the worst they can say is no, but at least we tried.
First of all, I found it difficult to believe. This was certainly an exaggeration, but at the same time, this was a major compliment. This was an honor. And then when I learned that there was going to be a Houston Sun event and that I was being honored at that event, I was even more honored. I came up during the days of harsh segregation, black and white drinking fountains and rear of the bus riding, and I knew what it was to be suppressed, to be held down. And there were people who helped me. There were people who made it possible for me, first of all, to bear this without major depression, and there were also people who helped me to make it despite the obstacles that I faced. That's the first reason why I think community service is important. I think that anybody who has been helped is obligated to try to help someone else. And my second reason is that I preach Jesus Christ, and his teachings do not recommend that we should be limited to a church inside a sanctuary. He gave us the two greatest commandments as being that we should love the Lord our God with everything within us, and the second, he said, is like unto it, that we should love our neighbor as ourselves. And on these two, he said, hang all the law and the prophets. If I'm to preach Jesus, then I have to preach likewise, love my neighbor. So that's my second reason.
It frightened me, because I was wondering, was this a setup or was this real? And then after it frightened me, then it really humbled me. That's something that we have done, that even when people, you don't know they're watching and they appreciate you trying to do something positive and right for the community as well as the church. Anything that happens in the community, I'm involved with. If it's dealing with civic clubs, trying to help them get the best things through the city, if it's dealing with the schools surrounding the neighborhoods, especially since I'm in Sunnyside, Worthing, and Jones, and even Sterling, even if it's elementary schools, it's emotional. It's an emotional tie that I'm happy. I get a great joy. Tears will choke me up from time to time, because every one person that I see make a turn, a change, is one more than they thought. And we have some they thoughts, because when I grew up, they thought that I'd never be nothing. In fact, somebody would ask, can any good come out of the hood? I'm a living testimony.
I was excited, and it's quite an honor to be recognized for doing quality work in the community. I was very excited and most of all honored that the Houston Sun thought enough of me and recognized my community service. The community has always been a major impact in my life. It's always good to give back to the community, especially when you're in the community and you're serving the community daily. It makes me feel wealthy, because it lets me know that my deposits are now drawing interest.
My first reaction was, me? You got to be kidding. And sometimes when you serve, you don't serve thinking that people noticed. And so I was a bit surprised and had to get a little clarification about exactly what the recognition and the honor was. And the work that I do is to equip and empower servants of God to minister to the people of God, equipping them with the ability to study the Bible, the ability to teach the Bible, the ability to understand the Bible, and the ability to contextualize Scripture
into real life, practical impact strategies and practices. So the feeling I get is joy and satisfaction that I am doing what I was created to do.
I am still shocked. Among the people of all the pedigrees that's around here, little old me, I'm shocked, but I'm also honored because it lets me know that there are individuals that are watching that I had no idea that were, and I'm proud and honored to have become a part of Texas Barber College in helping young men that are really having problems getting back into the workforce. God spoke to me about 10 years ago, and there were some statistics that wasn't very good. Those statistics were that there were 62% of Texas prison populations that were comprising of black males from the ages of 19 to 35. We are offering an opportunity for guys who would normally have an opportunity to go and get into the workforce. And by that, we are making them independent businessmen.
Well, I was very grateful, humbled by the opportunity, because I do remember 30 years ago when Mr. Robinson and Ms. Robinson started the paper. In fact, I was involved in some early editions, help and write, do some promotion. And Mr. Robinson, the late Mr. Robinson, was a Vietnam-era veteran. So I was very honored that I would have the chance to be considered a beacon of light, and certainly appreciative that the Lord has blessed me to be here this long, to be able to say thank you. Currently, my focus has been helping deal with alcohol, drug abuse, addiction, and mental illness. For the last 4 years, we've started the Hope After Project. For over 20 years, I've been involved with the idea of helping faith and community leaders to develop programs at their churches to address the problem that affects our community. Well, I'm grateful that the Lord has blessed me, because I've been in the ministry over 30 years. I'm grateful that the Lord has blessed me to be able to give back. And I think that's one of the issues that I've appreciated telling other young people, because as we get older in life, I mean, we realize there's a finality to life. So you want to be able to leave something, just like my grandparents, my father and mother left something with me. So I'm very humbled and appreciative that the Lord has blessed me to be able to do that. It's a blessing for me just to be at this event, or to say thank you to Houston Sun and those who saw fit to choose me.
I was elated because of the fact that for so long I felt like I feel like I was being overlooked, you know, about a lot of things as far as the radio station and my ministry is concerned. I just felt like nobody was, you know, really paying attention. So when I got the call that I was being honored, man, I was just elated. I got called to the ministry August of 1984, and I went by Texas Southern one day to look in on Rick to see how he was doing. So he told me he needed help on Gospel Sunday. And actually, I was supposed to do it for one Sunday. And I've been there 24 years. I think I have more compassion than anything, you know, for what I do. The love and compassion for what I do and for the people, you know. And sometimes one song can pull a person over whatever they're going through.
I felt honored. I mean, anytime someone honors you, you have to feel blessed. And I feel blessed that some of the things that I've done in my life, people feel positive about. I'm involved in a lot of different things, from the Boy Scouts to the NAACP to legal service organizations here in Houston. The main reason I do it is all my life I've felt blessed. I've felt all my life that God blessed me in ways that He didn't bless everybody. Because one of the things that I've understood about life is that even though the Constitution says all men are created equal, I mean, all you have to do is open your eyes and see that all men are not created equal. But because I've been blessed, I think people who have been blessed by God have an obligation to help those people who are not blessed. And so that's basically what spurs me into community service.
But certainly I think there are a lot of unsung heroes out there. I'm honored to be amongst those who are thought of. I think it has a lot to do with how you feel at the end of the day, about the contribution that you make to society, and what's long lasting, what leaves a benefit there that's beyond yourself, that people will say favorable things about. So, having wealth and having material things is one thing, but that's a very short discussion. There is no feeling like that of helping someone and helping them to either redirect or get their lives back on track, because it means that they're now in a position to impact others.
When I received the email message, I said, spam. But then I started reading. I said, it has to be someone who's actually been watching me. And I was really excited, and I had to tell everybody. Everybody's kind of happy for me, and this is something that I never thought that would happen. Anyone would actually notice the things that I'm doing in the community. I do community service because I have a passion for people that have a need and I want to learn more. And what I actually do, I set up in the churches, area churches, smaller churches that are actually suffering with music in their congregation. And I try to educate them and bring them up to par and give them quality musicians.
Ecstatic, honored, and very pleased as to such a auspicious award that would be given to me, and very gracious about it as well. It ties back to my Christian roots of being a servant, give back, to whom much is given, much is required. And I like to use that in Luke 12 and 48. And what I do is I try to always give back to those, so among us, the least. Oh, it's a magnificent feeling when you can see the come to fruition the work that you've done and how you've had an impact. It makes you feel so good because you know that you've made a difference. And really at the end of the day, that's really all I care about if I had an opportunity just to make a difference.
Definitely a shock. And in fact, it was so much of a shock that I almost didn't open the email. I thought it might have been spam or something, to be honest with you. So I actually looked at it for a second, put my phone down. About 30 minutes passed, and I said, you know what, let me look back at that email again. And then that was like, wow, this is pretty amazing. What I do for the Fort Bend County Democratic Party is I try to elect good Democrats in Fort Bend County. Fort Bend County is a county on the move, and it's a county that I hope to see in the next couple of years be a firmly established Democratic county. Oddly enough, I've been doing this for about 20 years almost in different capacities. I started my career working for the Congresswoman, Sheila Jackson Lee, interning in her office, and then interning in the White House, and then coming back to do some work again for the Congresswoman, and then for Sylvester Turner in Austin and some other people. And I hope 20 years from now, I can come back and sit back and discuss all the things that have been accomplished in the last 20 years to actually improve the quality of life for people who live in Fort Bend County and throughout the state.
The first thought was, really? I mean, what, is this a joke, at first? I mean, because I never thought that anything that I do was so, outstanding to warrant any kind of accolades. So, because it's just what I do. Everybody is somebody, and very often, too often, I've encountered individuals who did not value themselves. They didn't think that their worth was very important. It's just been, it just seemed the natural thing to do, to help someone in need, and I'm just helpful. I'm blessed that I'm able to just share anything that I have that would benefit somebody else.
Oh, it was great. It's always a wonderful attribute to be
recognized by the rest of your citizenry that you're doing something. Someone has to do the job. Fortunately, they didn't shoot me, so I kept on trying. Feel great. That's the whole object, is to help others. And I firmly believe in that strategy, and it works. You help others, and somehow it has a looping way of coming back to you.